Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're trying some more new drugstore makeup. I did a part 1 of this last week. I will have that link down below. I went and I asked you guys actually what I should buy at the drugstore. I ended up going and picking up a bunch of stuff that I really ended up enjoying. But there were still some things that I wanted to try that were sold out everywhere because they were more like viral products. So I placed an order on Ulta. I bought as much as I could find. But my last product finally came in today, so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna sit down and try out the rest of these drugstore products that you guys made me buy. I'm gonna be trying out things like the NYX Marshmallow Primer. I've heard so many things about this. I've also heard a lot about the Skin Paradise Tinted Moisturizer from L'Oreal, which you guys also wanted me to try. We've got some brow products. We got this new Undereye Tint, which I'm excited to try as well from Milani. I feel like last time I did this, there was a lot of Milani products. This time around, there's quite a bit of NYX. So let's get right into it. Since I'm going to be trying a couple of new base products, I'm going to try to do a little bit of a wear test. It's going to be a little harder with this specific video because there are several different face products that I'm going to be trying. So sometimes if like things go south or if it looks really good, I don't always know if it's the primer or the foundation or the under eye tint that makes things look the way they look. But I thought I could wear it anyway and just kind of see how it all holds up. So let's just get into it. When I asked you guys on Instagram what I should try, so many people told me to pick up the NYX Marshmallow Primer. I'm pretty sure this went viral on TikTok. I could be wrong. I'm gonna apply a little bit to my fingertips. Okay, it kind of seems like it's a whipped formula. Oh my gosh, yes it is. It's very marshmallowy. It smells good too. I'm going to go ahead and apply this with my fingertips all over the face. And I'm going to focus this in the T-zone because it is a little bit more of like a smoothing primer, at least I'm pretty sure. I don't really know what it's supposed to do. It doesn't say anything about what it's supposed to do. It just says to use alone or with foundation, but it feels like it's smoothing. It also feels kind of cooling at the same time. It's a little bit more lightweight than what I was expecting as well, which is nice. I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this out with my fingertips. Okay, wow, that feels really nice on the skin. It definitely makes the skin feel marshmallowy. We'll see how it looks underneath this foundation, and I'm hoping that the formulas mix well because the L'Oreal Skin Paradise Water Infused Tinted Moisturizer is just that. It's water infused, so I'm hoping that it will mesh well with this primer. There's only one way to find out. So I have mine in the shade Fair 02. Here's what the applicator looks like. I'm just gonna dot a little bit of this on the back of my hand. And let's do one side of the face first to compare. So I'm just gonna pick that up with a brush and I'm gonna start to apply this all over the skin. Okay, I definitely feel like it spreads really easily. So I'm not sure if I needed that much for just half of my face. I'm actually going to pick up the rest of that on the back of my hand with a sponge. This sponge is my e.l.f. sponge, and I'm just going to press that into the skin using the sponge. I actually really do like the coverage, and this also feels very cooling and lightweight too. It seems to be meshing pretty well over top of the primer, at least from what I can tell right now. I feel like this shade is a little bit light for me. It obviously works, but shade number 3 was way too dark, so we'll just have to make this one work. Okay, so here's everything side by side. Obviously this has no tinted moisturizer. This obviously does. What do you guys think? I feel like it looks pretty nice. I like the finish of it. It does look like it's sitting on top of the skin a little bit. And oddly in this area here, which is where I didn't focus the primer, I almost wonder if I just need to kind of press it in with my fingertips. Because I felt like a brush kind of left streaks and a sponge might be too like gentle. I feel like this formula might work best with fingertips. Yeah, there's certain areas that I felt like blended in better with my fingers. You know what, let's try that on the other side of the face. I normally always do the application the same, but I feel like I could try it with just my fingertips on this side and see if I like that any better. Yeah, I already feel like that's a little bit easier to kind of spread around. Okay, I'm just taking my sponge and pressing that down again because I feel like using just my fingers didn't provide like as even of a spread as using a brush and then a sponge and then my fingers. Okay, I feel like that looks very natural. There are still areas where I feel like it's sitting on top of the skin a little bit. Maybe I used too much, I don't know. But when I step back and I see the entire face, I really do like the freshness of this. And it feels so lightweight on the skin. It feels like I'm not even wearing any makeup, which is really nice. And that's the kind of product that it's supposed to be. So yeah, that's that for now. Based off my first impressions, I'm not like super floored by this, but I think I like it. Obviously a wear test is going to be helpful for this as well. Okay, next up, this is what I was the most excited about. This is the Milani Supercharged Brightening Under Eye Tint. I tried another Milani under eye tint in the last video and I really liked it, but this is the one that I feel like has been hyped up even more. I got mine in the shade 110 Pink Rose. This is the lightest shade. I've heard more about the second shade, which is like the peachy one, but I'm so fair that I felt like the peach would be too dark. Plus it was also sold out online, so I felt like I would just try the light pink color. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just taking this on my fingers and I'm gonna start to blend it into the under eye area and then just use my fingertips to press that in. This almost has like a gel consistency to it. And as I'm blending it out and pressing it into the skin, I feel like it has a bit of a luminosity to it as well. Okay, I definitely feel like that did brighten things up, and I really love the finish that it gave my under eyes. I feel like that really helped get rid of the dark circles that I had. I'm excited about that. I'm gonna go ahead and apply concealer. I'm gonna use my Maybelline Age Rewind. This is obviously not a new product to me, but I'm just gonna layer that on top of the brightener. And I'm also using that to cover up any blemishes. And I'm just gonna gently press that into the skin with a sponge. I'm gonna set the face with a little bit of my Wet n Wild Photo Focus translucent powder. I'm just gently pressing over the powder with my sponge. And then I'm just gonna warm things up with my Milani Silky Matte Bronzer. Okay, so now that bronzer is on, I'm going to fill in the brows, and I have another brow pen to try. This one is from NYX. So in the last video, I tried out the Milani Weekend Brow Pen. Really loved that. You guys seem to really like how it looked on me as well. So I've been wearing that actually every day since I've tried it, but I actually wanted to pick this up because Patty Alonso, she's a fellow YouTuber. I love her videos. I'll have her channel down below. But she had mentioned for me to try out this primer and these two brow products. So I'm going to try it. I'm excited, and I'm actually really excited to see how this compares to the Milani one, since I did fall in love with that one super fast. So we'll see. So this is the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen. I got mine in the shade Ash Brown. And let's go ahead and fill things in, shall we? Okay, so this is applying really nicely. Based off of my first impressions, this one is a little bit of a thinner formula, and it's also not quite as pigmented as the Milani one, but that's actually nice in a lot of ways because I feel like you can really build this up, because that's the thing about these brow pens. Unless you're like super good at it, if they're too pigmented, it's easy to go overboard with. I feel like that looks really soft and natural. You know what? I could see myself using both. I could see myself using this formula in like the inside of my brows. And then the Milani one is great for like the outer portions because it is a little bit darker in color, which could also just be the shade I picked up, obviously. But yeah, it's definitely a softer, almost watercolor-like formula. The longevity of this is important to me as well, so I'll be sure to keep an eye on that during my wear test. I'm taking a spoolie and just kind of brushing through to soften it, and I really like how that makes my brows look. I'm going to add a little bit of my Flower Beauty blush. This is in the shade Sweet Pea. I'm just going to apply that to the apples of the cheeks. I'm not going to do anything on the eyes really, just some bronzer and a little bit of blush. I'm going to add a little bit of my Honest Beauty highlighter to the high points of the face. And I'm also going to kind of like sweep that on the brow bone just to highlight that a little bit as well. I'm going to pop on some Bambi Eye mascara from L'Oreal, which someone else told me that I should pick up the Bambi Eye, like, what was it called? Bambi Eye Extreme or something like that, and I couldn't find it. I don't think it's available in the US yet, if it is available somewhere else. But if I do see that, like, come online at Ulta or in stores, I definitely want to try it because this is a really good drugstore mascara, so I would love to try the other version. Okay, I'm just wiping away any foundation that got on the lips. I'm going to use the NYX Nude Beige lip pencil that I bought. Recently, I tried this out in my last video. Not my last video, but my part one of this, like where I was trying out some new drugstore. And I really, really like this color, so I wanted to wear it again. Okay, the next product that a lot of people wanted me to pick up and try, and I also wanted to try this as well, is this right here from NYX. It's called the This Is Milky Gloss. They launched a few shades. I picked up mine in the shade Milk and Cookies. No, Cookies and Milk, which is kind of like a mauve-y color. So let's try this out. I feel like I applied a little too much. So I'm just gonna kind of pat that away and then use my finger to blend it in because it is a little bit more of like a milky type gloss, and so I'm worried about it making a weird line in the inner lip. It's a really pretty color and the formula feels really nice, but again, I don't know, I'm just kind of like worried about how it will wear just because it is a little bit more of like a frosty looking gloss. But again, I guess we'll figure that out when we wear it today. So I'm just gonna assess the situation really quickly and add a bit more bronzer. And then somebody had commented that they wanted me to try this out right here. It's the new Physicians Formula, the Essence of Healthy Toner and Setting Spray. This was actually just sent to me by Physicians Formula, so I'm excited to try this. All right, I'm just gonna spritz the sides of my face with this. The mist is actually pretty nice. It's a pretty fine mist. It's not like invisible, but it's pretty fine. I'm just gonna go over everything with my sponge and just press that setting spray into the skin. And then, last but not least, we've got to try out the NYX Brow Glue. This was sold out at Ulta, and it literally looks like, if it will focus, oh, I had powder on my hand, but it looks like a super glue bottle, which I think is so cute. So let's go ahead and set the brows with this. Whoa, just out of the tube, it's pretty sticky looking. Come on, I don't know if it will focus. Okay, let me see if I can show you. See how gloopy and sticky? Okay, I'm gonna wipe off the excess into the bottle, and then I'm going to start to apply this into the brows. Okay, it's definitely a much thicker formula than a lot of my other brow setting products. Oh wow, okay, so this is gonna definitely give you that feathered brow look. It's supposed to not be sticky though, because that's one of the cons about the soap brow trend, is I feel like things can feel very crunchy or sticky, and apparently this is not supposed to feel too sticky. It definitely feels tacky to the touch, but like when I actually move my brows around, it's not too bad. I'm curious to see how much that dries down. I felt like now that my brows were brushed up again, I felt like I needed a little bit more filling in right here. So I'm just adding that with the same brow pen. Okay, so my makeup is done. We're gonna go ahead and wear this for the rest of the night. It's currently 5:30 p.m., so it's definitely later to start a wear test, but my sleep schedule's a little off right now, so I'm gonna try to stay up as late as possible to just see how this all holds up. There's things about this that I really, really like now that it's all said and done. I feel like all the new things that I tried so far, I did really like. I'm not sure if there's anything that like floored me completely yet, but hopefully a wear test will help me figure that out if I really enjoy these products or not. Out of everything so far, I feel like the Marshmallow Primer felt really nice. I really liked the texture of the Supercharged Under Eye Tint. The brow pen was really good as well. I'm still trying to figure out if I like it more than the Milani one. I think I still am leaning toward the Milani one, but they're a little bit different. I do like how my brows turned out. So yeah, I feel like there's some good things in here. Let's go ahead and do a wear test and see how it holds up, and then I'll give you guys my opinion based off of my first impression and based off my mini wear test. So I'll see you guys in a little bit for my first check-in. All right, you guys, so here is my first check-in by the window right after filming. I switched to a vlog camera because there were so many comments on like my last vlog check-in. I usually just use my phone front camera, but it's a little bit like grainier and blurrier than obviously my studio camera. So people thought that I was using a filter, which I do not do. I never ever use a filter when I'm filming. So I'm hoping that this vlog camera will be a little bit more clear for you guys. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but here's how things are looking. I feel like I need a mirror because it's hard for me to see everything in just this little tiny screen, but so far so good. I feel like everything looks pretty good. I'm happy with how my makeup looks. Again, I don't know if anything like floored me specifically, but I like how my makeup looks right now. So yeah, things look nice. Obviously I just finished applying it, so they're going to look nice, but I'm gonna wear this for a few more hours, and then of course I'll show you what it looks like at the end of the day, and I'll give you guys my final opinion. Okay, so I'm back in the studio. It's currently midnight, so I've been wearing this for, gotta do the math, a little bit over 6 hours. So I'm gonna be honest, I feel like the Tinted Moisturizer has separated quite a bit, and I didn't even wear it for as long as I normally would. I normally try to do like an 8-hour wear test. So considering that it's not even as long as usual, it's separating quite a bit. I mean, this area here is pretty typical for me with any foundation, but it's just kind of splotchy. It just didn't sit on the skin quite the way that I personally like it to. And it's hard because I tried two different complexion products, so I have the primer and the tinted moisturizer. I just feel like either they didn't mesh very well or this didn't really like sit well on my skin. I mean, you guys saw when I applied it, I did feel like it kind of sat on top in areas where I didn't apply the primer. So I'm honestly more excited about the primer. I liked the texture and the feel of this. I've got to try this though with a foundation that I'm more familiar with because I don't know if it helped with like smoothing. I honestly feel like my pores here are a lot more emphasized now that my natural oils have come through. So yeah, I'm not like floored or wowed at anything. I don't really love how things are wearing in the T-zone, but it is a tinted moisturizer. It's not supposed to be, you know, a super long wearing foundation, so maybe that's to be expected. I will definitely have to try both of these products separately, but I could see myself reaching for this a little bit more just based off my first impressions. I really liked the Milani Brightening Under Eye Tint. I felt like I noticed a difference as far as brightening goes. I feel like my under eyes look a little bit drier than normal, and I feel like it could possibly be the concealer and powder combination that I wore on top. So I'll just have to play around with this formula as well. If it is something that tends to go a little bit more to the dry side, I might have to layer an eye cream underneath beforehand, but those are things that you get to know like when you use a product more than once, obviously, since this is my first time using it. I'm not really sure what caused that yet, but I really did like the color. I really did like the brightening effect that it had initially. Okay, the brow products. I actually really did like the brow products. I still feel like for some reason the Milani brow pen I really, really loved. There was something different about this one that really worked for me. It is more pigmented, so maybe that's what happened. Like maybe it just made a little bit more of an impact that way. So for some reason, I still feel like I would reach for the Milani one over the next one, but I really did enjoy this one. I liked how soft it was, and again, I do feel like I might use this in the center of my brows just for something softer, and then maybe try the Milani one on like the outer portions and see how that looks. The brow glue I thought was really nice. It made my brows stay in that kind of feathery soap brow type of a style, if you want to call it that, but it doesn't feel like it's completely cemented to my skin. Like I still felt like my brows could move around, which was really nice because in the past when I've tried like a soap brow type product, sometimes if it's too crispy and crunchy, it's like distracting throughout the day. So I really liked that this wasn't. It's definitely a different type of formula. So I'm excited to keep using this actually. And next time I want to try it first. Like I want to try this first and then use a brow pencil or a brow pen to fill in the rest of the brows and see how I like that. But yeah, I really did like the brow glue. Moving on to the NYX This Is Milky Gloss. There's something about this that I liked and then there's stuff that I didn't really like. I liked the formula. I felt like it was very hydrating. It felt really nice. I felt like it wore off really well. But obviously, based off the title, I mean, it is a milkier gloss. The entire range is going to give you that milky effect on the lips, and that's what I'm not sure about. It's not necessarily the formula, it's not necessarily the color of this, as much as it is the aesthetic of that kind of milky, thicker gloss look. I'm not sure if it's my personal aesthetic, so I just don't know if I'll reach for this very often because it was so pigmented, and the effect, there was something that just didn't flatter me personally, I thought, for my personal taste. If you're into that kind of a lip effect, you're gonna like this. I just don't think that I will reach for it a lot because I just look for different things when it comes to like an effect on the lips. The Physicians Formula Essence of Healthy Setting Spray. I thought this was really nice. I liked the applicator. It's nice to have something that feels so luxe. This is a glass bottle. It feels very high-end, but it's obviously a drugstore product. It's supposed to brighten the skin if you use it as a toner, so I mean, that's something that we'll have to figure out over a long period of time. I'm not really sure how I would know if this is brightening my skin or not, but Seems to have good ingredients in here. It's supposed to be really hydrating. I liked this. I think I'm going to keep this on my desk actually, because there was something about it that I did feel like balanced the skin. And yeah, the applicator was really nice to work with. So I did enjoy that. Is there anything else? I think that's everything. Okay, so based off my first impressions, I think these products are what I'm the most excited about. The primer, the under eye, the brow glue, and the setting spray. To be honest, I feel like I wasn't as floored as I expected to be, and maybe it's because so many of these products are so hyped up that I was expecting to be like shocked. And I enjoyed a lot of the products, but I feel like I wasn't as floored, maybe because I had that expectation in my mind. But I honestly feel like I discovered things that I am more excited about in the part 1 that I did of this video. So if you haven't seen that, if you haven't seen me try out the first batch of drugstore products that you guys made me pick up, I will again have that link down below. Be sure to watch that to see some amazing products that I discovered there. As always, I'll continue to use these. I love finding products at the drugstore because I believe that you don't have to spend a lot of money to get great products. So if anything sticks in my routine, if I end up really falling hard for something even more, you will know. I will reuse it and reuse it in my upcoming videos. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button, and if you're already a subscriber but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it for me today. I hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye!